Welcome to the first members Q&A live stream. I don't even have my headset on because I'm not listening to anything except my own voice. So hopefully that doesn't become a liability. I am essentially ready to go. Let me see how I'm doing all this. It's a little odd the way that I'll be doing this. A little, different than what I normally do. A full-size boomer. Let us hope you never see a full-size boomer. Oh, it's bad enough I have to see a full-size boomer every once in a while. Okay, so I'm going to be fumbling my way through this a little bit because the way that I'll be handling this is different than what I normally do. I have to actually click on... I'm working within OBS on a preview screen, and yeah, I'm having to turn things on and off, and it's a little confusing. So let us get started. I don't even know if I'm doing shout outs, but some of the people are in here already. So let's do some shout outs right from the get-go. We've got Trekker King 2010 in the house. XLT Gaming, XLT 588 Gaming is in the house. Bucks the Driving Gamer is not a member, but he is a moderator and has a special role. Rob Strecker, Lurch, is in the house. Glad you could take some time away from farm simming to come to the Q&A. Let's see, who else? Nicholas, XXXN, is in the house. All right, we'll get back to these in just a bit. Who said I took time? I'm sorry. I made an assumption. My bad. Okay. So, here, let me minimize something I do not need. I do not need Discord right now. Logging up my resources. I don't need that. I'll leave that on the background. What is this? I do need that. Okie dokie. So, first Q&A. You're allowed a few glitches, right? Yeah, last time I did a Q&A, it was purely recorded. Well, no, I've done some Q&As, live stream. But I'm trying to... I have some things that I have prepared. So, hopefully it goes off without a hitch. So, only members... Anyone can watch this, but only members can post questions in the chat. Hold your questions for now. I've got some questions from Flatbedders who have submitted them in advance. And so I'm going to get to those right now. Here is the first one. I have to read this over here. Oh, you can't even see me now. So from Nicholas, XXXN, what are the... He's got 5 questions. What are the requirements for winter tires and tire tread depth in America? It has just started snowing on the mountains in Norway, so I have changed to winter tires. Well, Nicholas, with, I imagine, some rare exceptions, we don't have winter tires. We just have tires. We have the same tires we use year-round, although I'm sure there are some exceptions to that in certain places like Alaska and the high mountain areas of Colorado. I don't know that they do, but I'm assuming that they do. So, and maybe even in the Sierra Nevada mountains of California. But essentially, I use the same tires year round. That's also why we carry chains. So we sometimes have to throw chains. So, next question. How long can you drive and work each day and each week? Can you extend your daily drive time like in Europe? No. to that question. I'll just hit that right off the bat. We cannot. In Europe, the standard drive time is 9 hours, but 2 days a week, you can extend it to 10 hours. And you can never drive more than 56 hours in one week and no more than 90 hours in 2 consecutive weeks. Well, that's complicated. Nope, ours is much more simple than that. We have 70 hours each week. I think that's what it is. I've been off the road for 4.5 years, so bear with me if I make a bit of a mistake. But no, we have 14 hours a day that's considered our duty day. But we can only drive 11 of those hours. I'm going to put myself back on the webcam. This doesn't work out too well, unfortunately. I needed to make that image with the question on it big enough to be read, but yeah, I think it's important. If I'm going to be a talking head, I should have my head on the screen. Anyway, we have 14 hours of a day that we can be working. Of the 14 hours, 11 hours we can drive. We also must take a 30-minute break. That 30-minute break doesn't detract from our 11 hours. We could, drive for 6 hours, take a 30-minute break, drive for 5 more hours, for a total of 11 hours of driving time. Whatever we're doing, we have to fit into a 14-hour day. And we have 70 hours. I mean, there are 2 different types of clocks, but this is what I worked under. So we have 70 hours in, maybe it's an 8-day window. Gosh, it's been so long now. Anyway, we can never extend that except under emergency conditions or by special order from the Department of Transportation or the president. But essentially, that's it. And we've got no limitation over the course of 2 weeks. It's every 8 days, it rolls over. Whatever we had from 8 days ago rolls into the new day. So it's a moving window. So if I had 8 days ago, if I had a 10-hour day, that goes back onto my clock. Now, this doesn't apply to local stuff. Local stuff, if you're not driving over, I think it's 150 miles out of town from your home base, then you don't even work with this. You're just a basic hourly person. So you can work 14, 16-hour days, and I've done it here in Las Vegas. So moving on to your next question. Will you ever visit beautiful Norway? I wish I could. Shoot, this is blocking the questions now. So, well, I'll just read them. So, will you ever visit beautiful Norway? I wish that I could. I just don't see it happening. But yeah, that'd be awesome. I know my roommate would too, because his family has, his ancestors came from Norway, or at least some of them. Next question from Nicholas is, what U.S. state have you driven the least and the most in? The least would probably have to be Vermont. It's pretty small, and I've only been there 2 or 3 times. I've been to New Hampshire, I've been to New York, which is on either side of it, many, many times. But Vermont only a couple of times. Question number 5, which I'm probably blocking here. Do you love Farm Sim 22 yet? Yeah, I'm obsessed with it. Okay, let's move on to the next thing, which is a question from Rob Strecker, Lurch. Are there major differences between dump trucks and your kind of truck, or is it just that one hooked to dry vans, reefers, etc., and the other a dump trailer? Well, dump trucks, let me turn the webcam back on again. Dump trucks, there's different kinds. There's the kinds that have trailers, and yes, that's the same kind of tractor, except they're usually day cabs. So then you got the dumper trailers, singles and doubles. These things go by my house all day, every day. But then there's the standard dump truck, which is a straight truck, all one frame with the dumper on the back. So that is the same basic cab. It's almost like a day cab, but it's essentially it's the same basic interior, some different options that have to do strictly with being a dump truck. Okay, Lurch has another question. How often do you need to do routine maintenance things like oil changes, tire rotations, etc.? So oil changes, I'm trying to remember. Basically every 3 months I did an oil change. I'm trying to think if there, depending on your engine, your oil change cycle was either 35,000 miles or 50,000 miles. I don't recall which. Yeah, that's what it was. Something like that. It's crazy. I mean, unlike a car where you got 3,500 to 500 or to 5,000 miles usually for an oil change. Trucks, it's much longer. As far as tire rotations go, it's rare to rotate tires. I've done it, to help with wear, to even out the wear, but that's rare. Like maybe once a year, once every. It just depends. One of the important things to do, especially when you first get a truck, is to do a frame alignment. And I made the mistake of not getting that done on the last truck that I had because I got it new, and I should have got that done, and I had some bad tire wear. Yeah, I've had some tire issues, which you've commented on in some of the other videos that I've got. So, Knee-High Sniper, who just got here, is just in time for his question. Oh, I guess I should throw it up on the screen, huh? Nope, that's Lurch's second question. There we go. Let me queue up the next one after that. So, Knee-High Sniper asks, what is your favorite over-the-road spot to eat? Mine was the Iron Skillet. Have you eaten at one? Well, oddly enough, Iron Skillet was my favorite place to eat over the road at truck stops. The other place, I mean, there was some more variety that was being developed at different places. But either Iron Skillet or anywhere I could get chicken, because I just love fried chicken. Okay. Moving on. Trucker King 2010 has some questions. What made you decide to be a truck driver? Let me get myself back here on the screen. So, what made me decide to be a truck driver? Poverty and opportunity and a fantasy that being a truck driver would be cool. Back in 2009, I got laid off. That was during the last recession. I got laid off from my job. I spent a couple of years trying to make a business venture work, and it failed. I went through all my savings and everything, and it failed, and I had to do something. And a friend of mine at the time suggested that I consider driving truck because that's what he was doing. And I had fantasized about it a number of times because I had, talked to truckers in the course of my previous career, which was in the casino gaming industry. I was at the corporate level and I was involved in setting up new casinos, and I interacted with truck drivers who were delivering slot machines to casino projects that I was working on, and I was coordinating the delivery and installation. And also in a previous gig, still in the same industry, casino gaming, I was dealing in used slot machines, and I was moving them a lot, and I was dealing with truck drivers who would show up to get loaded to take these slot machines to someplace else than where I was. And I had opportunity because I had people that were working for me and they were loading the machines. And so I had a chance to talk to the truck drivers on occasion. And it seemed like a neat thing to be out on the road. So then coming back forward to 2011, when I had to do something, and my friend at the time recommended that I do truck driving, and he actually helped me get into the business. If it hadn't been for him, I wouldn't have got in. I wouldn't have even thought of it at all. And I'm glad that he did, because I enjoyed it. I spent 7.5 years driving over the road, and I really did like it. There were many days that I regret getting off the road, but I couldn't continue. Anyway, so that's why. That's what made me decide to be a truck driver. Poverty. What was your favorite type of load to haul and why? The only thing I could think of in response to that question is, oh, wait, am I still reading those? Yes. The only thing I could think of in response to that question was something light. I mean, I had particular types of loads that were not light. They were heavy paper loads. They were just consistent. But I like the light loads because as I was paying for my own fuel, lighter means less fuel burn. Plus, I just hated being bogged down. Like, I had water loads. Oh my goodness. Bottled water. So heavy. A lot of reefer stuff was so heavy. So just light loads is the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. One of the things I did a lot of Tractor Supply. So I would pick up at the distribution center in Casa Grande, Arizona. Yeah, I hated bottled water. And then I would take these to the retail stores in all over the western states. I kind of like that. And also Dick's Sporting Goods. They have a distribution center near Phoenix, and I would pick up a loaded trailer there and take it to different, usually 2 or 3 stores in the western states. So I like those. So next question is, what was your favorite, I assume that means rest area, and why? I really don't have a favorite rest area. I had truck stops that I liked and truck stops that I disliked. Iowa 80, both of them, the one in Iowa, Walcott, Iowa, and the one in Joplin, Missouri. I like those because they were really big, lots of parking, and there's a lot of things to do inside, a lot of amenities. So I like those. All right, Trucker King. Let's move on to the next question. Once again, Triple XN, another question. Why do you use hazard lights every time you are at a terminal? Is this a law or something like that? We rarely use them in Norway, only when we are maneuvering on a public road. It's not a law. It is, there are circumstances, there are a lot of shippers and receivers that require that you use flashers, the 4-ways, anytime you're on their property. It's a safety thing. And yes, it's an unspoken rule that most truckers recognize. When you are maneuvering at a shipper or receiver or a truck stop or anywhere else where you're, especially if you're backing up, it's a signal to other drivers that you're maneuvering and that you might not see them, and so steer clear or keep an eye out so that you can blow their horn. So they can blow their horn should they be headed for danger. So that's what that means. And then as far as on the roadway, normally anytime, like if you're going up a hill and you wind up getting slower down below 45 miles an hour, then typically truckers will turn on their flashers and be in the right lane, and to let traffic know that they're going slow. Let me queue up the next thing. That is it for the advanced questions. Let me do some more shout outs here. Rob Strecker, Lurch is a flatbedder. Read a couple of his questions. Triple XN, Nicholas is a flatbedder. Oh, I already did. Wait, I'm going backwards. Sorry. I have these my list. I guess you can't see it too well, where I check people's names when I call them off. Except I already did that, so I'm going backwards. I'm clearing the check mark. So Isabella Hagla from Sweden. Dusty. Is Dusty in the house? I know I saw him over in the Discord just a little bit ago. By the way, I want to welcome Walter Peterson to the membership. PilotBro39, who's struggling through a lack of internet right now. Knee-High Sniper, who's in the house. And Susan Arthur, another new member. Cody Old, I just want to get through these so I don't forget. You know what? No, I'll hold off. So, let's have your questions and in the chat. Oh, I didn't see the other part of your answer there, Knee-High. You had a whole bottled water in a gutless Cascadia. Yes, I've done the same thing. Not fun. All right, let's see them questions. You know, there's a little bit of a delay from when I say that to when you hear me. While I'm waiting, let me just say, I'd like to get through this in an hour. That's not a hard code thing. If it takes longer than an hour, then it takes longer than an hour. But Bucks is premiering is not premiere. He's not doing a premiere, but he's got a new video going live on his new channel today at the top of the hour. So okay, Knee-High Sniper says, did you take your shoes off in your sleeper? I always did. Yes, I still have the same kind of shoes I like. They're slip-offs, and I would take them off either before I went in the back or when I got in the back. If they were muddy, I took them off up front. And I didn't have truck stop sandals. Don't they call those flip-flops? I didn't have any of those at all. But only because I have feet issues. So I can't, plantar fasciitis. I don't have it now, but it's because I don't wear flip-flops. I have to have arch support. So let me see, make sure I don't miss anything. Lurch, I think the other question I couldn't remember earlier was about breakdowns. I've seen video titles that infer that you had them. What was the costliest breakdown / repair you had to have done? Yes, I have had them. I've even have some in my video collection, my video library. I've been towed 4 times. Had to be 5 times. But as an owner-operator, I've been towed 4 times. And those are always expensive because I had to pay for those. They weren't covered by insurance or anything else. That was always expensive. So I'll come back to that a little bit more about the towing. One of the most costliest breakdowns it wasn't really a breakdown, but I eventually had to get all of my drive tires replaced. They were just because I didn't get the frame alignment done. So I had bad uneven wear on my drives. And when I say drives, that's the 8 tires in the back of the truck. and I had all of those replaced, and it run me close to $5,000 to replace those tires. That's expensive, obviously. As far as the other times, the towing bills I had to pay, but the repairs were covered under warranty for the most part. So the towings ran between $600 and $900, depending on how far I had to go. And I've got a video where I show a tow truck backing up to me. That was no fun waiting on the side of the road. Let me see if I've got anything that I can share with you. I am prepared to share some pictures or video if I can find something that I need or that's relevant. Oh, I probably won't be able to find it now. Yep, if it turns up, I'll share it with you. But anyway, I've had to be towed a number of times. 4 times that I had to pay for. The repairs were covered under warranty, but some of these things took over a week. And I had to pay for the hotel bill. So I stayed in a hotel. Me and Kitty stayed in a hotel. And that was not fun. I mean, it was okay, but you're not making money when you're sitting in a hotel. So you're spending money on a hotel, meals in a restaurant. So yeah, it's all expensive. So moving on, in my truck, I put the shoes on the top step while climbing inside. So they are basically in the outside of the truck. Yeah, I've when I had muddy shoes, I've done that. And then I had different shoes inside. But I mean, I still brought them in because I couldn't leave them outside. Yep. Pilot, they tow the tractor and the trailer together. Sometimes they tow just the tractor and another tow truck, and this happened to me once in New York State. I can't remember the name of that city. Binghamton, I think. Near there, anyway. Where I broke down. Right on. That's not it. It's near Binghamton. Conklin. I spent a week in Conklin, I think it was. Somewhere near there. Maybe it was north of that. Kirkwood. Might have been Kirkwood. Anyway, yeah, they came and they brought two tow trucks. One to tow my tractor and one to bring the trailer. I don't remember why they did that. But, and that's why I was looking for a picture, because I've got one where the tow truck is hooked up to me and I still have the trailer. So no. Wouldn't want to leave the trailer sitting on the side of the road because it might not be there when I made it back. Yep. Nihai just said it. Heavy wreckers. Because they'll pull both the tractor and the trailer. Otherwise, that trailer or the contents will be gone by the time you show up again. That's a big no-no. Well, waiting for some more questions here, so let me give some shout-outs. Reefer Haulers, Cody Oldie, Bedrock, yeah, being towed is no fun at all. It's just miserable. Violet Bro, there were no questions about that. So feel free to ask a question about that. I'm still looking for some of those other pictures. I don't remember where I put them. See, this is what I meant by not being totally prepared. This will help me prepare for next time. Whew. A little bit better. Oh, Nehai. Boy, you hit the nail on the head right there. What's the most you ever paid for a shower, and where is your favorite place? Oh, no, wait. And where's your favorite place to shower, and why is it Love's? My least favorite place to shower was Love's. You know, except for the odd off-brand truck stop with really lame showers. The best places... Oh, so to answer your question, what's the most I ever paid for a shower? I rarely ever paid for a shower because I earned them with points. But I have a Love's shower story I want to share in a second. So most of the time I had points. When you get fuel, assuming you get at least 50 gallons, and I think that's up to 60 now, then you get a free shower. And so I would redeem those to get a shower. And because you basically fuel just about every day or every other day. So my favorite place to stop for a shower was a Petro, followed by Travel Centers of America, followed by Flying J, then Pilot, then Love's. Finally, off-brand or at the terminal for whatever company I was involved with at the time. Yeah, it is easy to get more than 50 gallons in a truck. You drive, I mean, you're going to burn way more than that in a day. Yeah. My story about Love's, I mean, they're okay, but I mean, when you go to most truck stops, you know, you get a towel and a washcloth. Comes with the shower. It's actually in there. And then there's a little floor mat to throw down on the floor. Well, I don't know if they still do it, but for the longest time, well, first of all, most of the truck stops, they have a floor mat. Just it's like a towel, except it's the size of a floor mat. But Love's, it was a paper floor mat, like on, I don't know where else was that, hospital, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, paper. So you step on it with a wet foot, now this thing's stuck to you. It's insane that they would even do that. Yeah, didn't care for Love's, and they're okay. I mean, if you had to go somewhere to get a shower out on the road, and you had to pay for it, Love's typically is cheapest, and they're not horrible. I think they finally fixed their floor mat issue. But yeah, not fun. Yes, Love's is the Dollar General for truck stop showers. Yes, Nehai, that's a good description right there. Yeah, okay, yeah, it was like a courtesy mat from a car wash. That's it, right there. I knew there was an example of what it was like. Yeah, I didn't care for them, but it, you know, better than nothing. I just rarely ever fueled at Love, so it wasn't much of an issue. Most of the time, I fueled at Pilot, Flying J. It's the same company now, because I had my best fuel discounts with them. I am looking for that photo, which I really need to do a better job of keeping all in one place. Yeah, that's not it. It's gonna be in Dropbox, I'm sure. Was this? Oh, that's from that. That's not what I'm looking for. Oh, when you're looking for something in a hurry, you can't find it. Oh, yeah. Found it. Yeah, I found one of them. All right, let me cue this up. So that's one of the, in fact, that's probably the first time that I got towed in that truck when I was with Schneider. And that's in California. Not that that matters, but yeah, they hooked me up and dragged me and the trailer together. Another view of it. And this is a different time with the same truck, and this is in Louisiana. Near Shreveport, I think. East of Shreveport. Yep. Same truck, same problem, different place. Yeah, Nicholas, that's a real background, or that's real video that I shot at a nearby pilot truck stop. Oh, I guess I'm not on here anymore, am I? Oh, let me turn all that stuff back on. There we go. Yeah, this is actual footage from a truck stop here in Las Vegas. Okay, what else we got? Tyler Bro asks, do they have automated truck washes like cars? Yeah, some places. I mean, not at truck stops that I'm aware of. They're all done manually by staff. I've been, like, when I was at Central Refrigerated at the terminal, they had well, even Schneider did. They had a wash bay for the trailers. So you would pull into the wash bay, and then you would turn it on, or it turned on, whatever, and it would clean the trailer. But as far as for no, not for the tractor, not automated that I'm aware of. You know, Nicholas, most of the time the footage you see in the background is from ATS or ETS, but I've also got some real life, and I need to get some new stuff. Yeah, Nihai, you do know more than you let on. Are the record drivers former truck drivers? Some of them may be, but most of them are just local guys that run a wrecker. But I think some of them may be. What was the least favorite part of your pre-trip? Doing it in the winter. Yeah, I don't really, other than that, as far as any of the things that I was checking out, I didn't really dislike anything more than another. Except if and I have a video on this, where I had to clean a whole lot of snow off of the hood just so I get the hood open because it was too heavy. Yeah, cold finger flashbacks, yeah. All right. Well, more questions if you got them. Let me do a couple more or at least one more shout out. New folks to the membership. And by the way, if you're in the audience and you wanna ask a question, then by all means, click that join button, and you can do it right now. Become a member, and you can ask your question before we end. If you do it before we end. So NH, that's the initials that are his YouTube channel, his YouTube name, but I know him as Nick. Another Nick. Yeah, pre-trip in the winter, not fun. Lurch bending over to check the kingpin couldn't have been pleasant either. It's not that bad. I mean, yeah, you bend over, but you can also scooch down and like crab walk and get out of there with your flashlight. I don't normally check the kingpin if I'm hooked. I only check the kingpin when I first hook to a trailer. What I do check though is I'll look underneath the trailer to make sure that someone hasn't pulled my kingpin release. And I even do that during the day. When I go into a truck stop or anywhere, especially a truck stop though, and I go in to have lunch or do something, when I come back out to the truck, I'll check that kingpin release handle to make sure some jerk hasn't pulled it. Because you just never know. You know, you may have ticked somebody off out on the road and they followed you into the truck stop, either a car or another trucker, somebody vindictive, and they'll come in and wait till you're not at your truck and they'll come up and pull your kingpin release. I've never seen it, but I've seen video of it, you know, that after someone did it and the driver didn't know, and he tried to pull away and his trailer dropped. It's one of the worst things you can do to a driver. Mihai says, how are you loving your newfound streaming life? We are super happy to have found you. Well, thank you. I like it because I like working at home. This isn't the first time I've worked at home. In fact, I have another gig now where I do website related projects. And geez, 20 years ago, almost. Yeah, 20 years ago, I worked at home full time and made good money. So I like working at home. I like being at home. I hate driving to work. But so yeah, but as far as, you know, being a YouTuber, I do like that because it fits my personality. I'm an introvert. I don't like to interact with people too much. And even though I'm talking to you, I'm talking to the camera. So I'm really only talking to one person at a time, but you're all seeing me. So that's why a lot of YouTubers are introverts. Extroverts require a lot of interaction with other people. That drains me, but it's what extroverts need in their life, is interacting with other people. So that's why, and I was surprised to learn this, but then it made sense. A lot of the big YouTubers are introverts. It allows us a sense of creativity to express our creativity without having to interact with a lot of people directly. Like to get up in front of an audience, physically in front of other people, it makes most people nervous, but for introverts, it's even worse. And I've had to do it when I was a manager at a casino, and I had a staff of over 30 people, and we had a staff meeting, you know, a department-wide staff meeting. I had to get up in front of all those people and talk about whatever it was was going on. So, yeah, Lurch, introvert, yep. Yeah, the eyes aren't staring back at you. Let's see. Let me back up. You guys throwing stuff at me I didn't see. Okay, there it is. Truckers aren't thanked enough. Thank all of you Ram drivers for your service. Ram drivers? Okay. Yeah. I think not enough thanks goes out to truck drivers in general. All the stuff we have, truck drivers brought it. Wow, Nia, I didn't know that. But I guess I'm not surprised that it happens a lot around Florida. Because that's where Florida Man lives. Right, Bucks? Solar, you have a question, I guess, even though you're not a member, but you do have some special powers. I don't wear pajamas, but I could. I mean, I wear shorts, and of course I wear shirts all the time. The t-shirts most of the time. I put on a actual shirt when I'm doing a live stream or a video or something, but even then, not always. Thanks, Trucker King. So happy YouTube gave me your real life trucker reacts to ATS vid and suggested videos. Well, I'm glad you found me too. Yeah, that video, truck driver reacts to American Truck Simulator, has been my #1 top performing video. It still gets around 3,000 views a month. It's just amazing. And that's where so many people, found me from. In fact, if I look at the stats for that, let me go to a different tab here. I'm not going to share the screen because it's got a little bit too much information on it, but I wanted to just look at the stats. If I sort by views, that is the #1 video. It's close to 170,000 views now since January 15th. That's when I published it, January 15th. And it has brought over 1,600 subscribers to the channel. And in the last 48 hours, it's gotten almost 250 views. It just cranks out the views. It is amazing. So I'm glad everybody found me that way. Florida Man. Yeah, Driving Gamer is Florida Man. So Solar asks, he's not a member, but he's a member of the Discord in very good standing. He says, I don't recall if you said, but what was your first solo load run? Wow. I know I was with Central Refrigerated. Oh, my first run. After I got back from being out with my trainer, who many of you met here in the live chat, Scott. They flew me to Billings, Montana, to recover a truck, just a tractor, and then drive it to Burley, Idaho, to pick up somewhere to pick up a trailer, and then Burley, Idaho to pick up a load. I think I picked it up, a preloaded trailer in Burley, Idaho, and then bring that load from Burley, Idaho back to Salt Lake City and drop that trailer for another driver. That was my first load. So they flew me to Billings, and then I got the tractor and drove it to Burley, Idaho, and then Salt Lake City. And I told him, get me the heck out of that tractor because it was a piece of crap. let's see, and they did, and I got a brand new tractor, so I was happy about that. Let's see. So that's right. Okay, solar. Yeah, okay. Nihai says, how does it feel to know almost 200,000 people have seen your video? Well, 200,000 people have seen my videos because that's only the one with the most views. We've got another one here, number 2, which is where I talked about buying my first truck in American Truck Simulator. That's when I bought my W900 in the game. That one's got about 48,000 views. So yeah, I don't know what it would be if I added up all these. Of course, they're not all individuals. Sometimes, you know, people watch multiple times, but still, well, probably 250,000 people have watched. And I never really thought about that till you just said this. Does that make me famous? I guess a little bit. I got more than my 15 minutes of fame. All right, let's do another shout out. We're getting close to the top of the hour. We don't, again, if you've got more questions or somebody else wants to get signed up and ask their first question, that would be fine. So let me shout out Thor Rasmussen, who's a longtime viewer, but came back, had been away for a bit, had dealing with some personal issues in his family, and so he came back and Tuesday, during Tuesday's live stream, and became a member. So I'm glad to have him. JJ Man 1982, another reefer hauler member in the crowd. More famous than you, maybe. You know, I suppose if you look at it from the number, like how many people are aware of you, then yeah. But you're pretty famous in your circle of friends, family, people who care about you in your personal life. So I try not to think about it, because if I thought about it too much, I might become overwhelmed. So I try not. I just do what I do. I talk to you guys, talk to my camera. You guys on the other side. Yeah, the introvert in me would freak out. Let me see if I've got anything else to share with you, picture-wise. Sorry, I was just noticing some stuff. Oh yeah. Let me see if there's anything else on here. Once I get done with that. Oh yeah. Where is that? Right there. Okay. So let me share that other screen. Yeah, it's a little slow going here. Here is a picture of me, or not of me, but of my truck, when I was at a shipper waiting for my trailer to get loaded, and I had my George Foreman grill set up outside my truck. I had an inverter right inside that door, and it was powerful enough to run my George Foreman. And I had my folding chair. There's some stuff that's sitting on the ground. That's stuff that was just in the way. I had to move to get to my grill. Then I got that, you know, that folding table. So, yeah, cooked a steak at a shipper. You do what you got to do. Yeah, waiting in style. Truck camping. Yep. Yeah, hurry up and wait. Yeah, that particular place, that was in Mississippi, in the Mississippi Delta region, northwest of Jackson. And it actually was waiting for a load of catfish fillets to take to somewhere, either like New Orleans or Houston or someplace. I actually hated that. That place was one of the reasons why I left Central Refrigerated. No, I didn't burn my foot. And no, it wasn't a KW. That was a Peterbilt. That's one of the two Peterbilts that I drove. Kitty was inside. I don't know what he was doing, but he was inside. He could have been napping. You can see I had the driver window open a bit. I've also got the sleeper section window open a bit. Yeah, I don't know that I ever drove international. The very first truck I drove, I couldn't even tell you what it was. I mean, because I was out with the guy who got me into trucking. Let me see. I think there was something else. Oh, yeah. Oh, right. There it is. So this picture, this is in Jackson, Mississippi. I was delivering at I think that's a Budweiser distributor. I was probably delivering beer. But anyway, I wanted to get to a different picture. This is that truck in for service. Let me hold on, back to that view. Yeah, this is the Peterbilt. It's a 587. A wide cab. Anyway, back up. So here I am getting serviced. This is a Budweiser bottling plant, I think in Columbus, Ohio. And there I am on a big long scale, getting scaled out at a shipper in northern Louisiana. This is a place where I picked up loads of detergent, and they had a scale right there on site. So this is one of the places that I had mentioned previously where they have scales actually on site. And so you could get all scaled before you head out on the road, because they're very heavy loads. Sometimes the trailer tandems don't want to slide. And so I found a unique way to kind of force it. Even though the pins were out of the holes, they still didn't want to slide because they were old and rusty. Well, so I found, in this case, a piece of concrete barrier, small piece, and I got it. I actually maneuvered. I couldn't move that thing. I actually maneuvered the trailer that way to get it there. And that worked, by the way. I was able to get the tandems to slide. This is also the reason why I started carrying a can of slide lubricant, just like WD-40, or something else. But it's the stuff that RV users use for where they have the RVs that slide in and out. That's what they sell that lube for. I don't know if anyone asked a question about this, but these are the airlines that are underneath the trailer. So when you slide the tandems, there's a tension spring on the left side of that picture, and that takes up the slack for when the tandems are all the way forward. And in this particular case, this one, I think, there's actually two tension springs. I think this is the one where one of the springs have been broken. and I had to replace it. And I think I took a picture after the fact. So let's see. Oh yeah, I was using a bungee cord to hold them up before, because this is the broken spring. So this is after, I think. Because you don't want these dragging, or the airline will get a hole in it and you'll bleed air, and that's not good. Yep, there it was. It was kind of Mickey Mouse. So oh, fun stuff. Memory lane. Yeah, it was a nice truck, that 587. Yeah. Slide. Oh yeah, that slide lubricant does stink. I don't know that it's silicone. I think it's petroleum based. Oh yeah, repairs to go. You got to do what you got to do. Yep, got to have bungee cords. Well, as long as they're not dragging on the ground, you're okay. Well, it is after 4 o'clock, and I would, by the way, for those of you who are still here on the chat or in the live stream, I did put a link to DeBuck's new channel in the description below. So if you would like to go watch his new farm sim video, it's very short, like 8 minutes. Bucks still here, that's where I'm headed next. Bucks who. So if you want to go check it out, it's 4 minutes long. Okay, it's a very short video. If you're not familiar with farm sim, go check it out. It just sets the tone for what's coming starting tomorrow. So I am going to wrap this up. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you for the questions. And I will work on refining this for November's question and answer live stream. Thanks everyone for coming. Oops, wrong button.